Okay. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. Let's see if I mute that. Let me know if is that any better, or are you guys still getting that underwater kind of? Because I did have my iPad up all the way, so I could hear it. I know it, echoes back on itself. It's cutting out and echoing. Okay. Let me know if that did anything. Oh, let me know if that does anything. Yeah, I wish technology just worked. It worked fine the last week. That's better. Like, is that okay? Because I can just keep it like that. And I think what happened is the headset. I wonder if the headset just needs to be charged. Okay. Well, I just turned it off, so let me know if it's still good. All right. Maybe it is the headset cutting out. I forgot to charge it and left it on. Not as good as last night, but much better. Okay. Yeah, it's just going to go through the computer now instead of the microphone. So, um, let's see here. Although, barely hear me now though. Okay, let me try. See if is that better? Okay, good. Okay, all right. So I think what's happening now is I'm just taking the microphone in through the camera. So, anyways, this is a drawing program, not a listen to Sean's shitty voice program. So let's draw. Let's paint. Cool. Thanks for the technical help, though. I'll figure it out. I think just the microphone power was going. As I said in the beginning, though, I am losing my voice, so I will be kind of quiet, I think, tonight, or I won't be screaming. But I thank you for your help, because I don't have it in me right now to deal with technical shit. I will sledgehammer the camera and the computer. Alright, maybe not that bad. Bit echo, but better. Okay, alright. Well, I'll just get to drawing then. So we got alright. I think I want those things a little bigger on the sketch I had. Let's see here. So let's drop that, let's pull up that. Okay. There we go. Sorry, just pulling up some reference photos. That is a gnarly looking bug. Okay. I'm an artist, not a tech whiz. Yeah. But you gotta be both sometimes. So let's do, just so I can position this right. Yeah, I don't know what I what I caught. It was one of those things where I thought I got away with it and did not. Okay. Yeah, my throat has been. You know, it is a cold, probably. It was sore throat for a few days. And then I woke up today just like, but that's alright. Sometimes you gotta go through that. NyQuil, yes. Usually what I do is, for really bad colds, I do 1 shot of NyQuil and 2 shots of whiskey and go to bed. And that shit is gone in the morning. We still got some Evan Williams whiskey, right? Yeah, we got the whiskey. We need to get the NyQuil. I am going to take this up a little higher. Did you say hi and I miss a very possible? Yeah. Yes. Oh, I responded to the camera mic thing, so. But hello, welcome. What a word for watching. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do a whole series of these paintings of these characters. So I'm gonna put these little. Here's the sketch I came up with this afternoon. The whale I sketched out last night streaming, but for my internet decided not to cooperate. But these little mosquitoes with 30 caliber machine gun noses. There's gonna be MG42 and 30 cal machine guns. So I'm gonna have a couple sitting on top of the whale itself, but. Yeah, it wasn't my intention to do like an entire painting of the creature, but you know, once I start sketching something, I'm like, gotta do it. And as well, it's, you know, giving me some new characters that I can play with that are mine. Because I've wanted to do a kind of a World War II Gremlins series. Seeing the old Warner Brothers cartoon I talked about last night a little, but Gremlins Over the Kremlin. It was an old Bugs Bunny cartoon where the Nazi bombers weren't accomplishing their job, and so Hitler decides to fly a bomber himself, and so the Gremlins come out and start ripping screws out and damaging the equipment and putting matches under his foot, and it was actually the first appearance of Tweety Bird. Your trivia for tonight. Yeah, I did one called World War Whale too. In my phone. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. World War Whale. Let's see what comes up initially. Oh, that is an album. Okay. Oh, but here I am. So that was. If I can throw that up closer to the camera. That was one of the like live paintings I did at a club in San Francisco several years back, probably 5 or 6 years back. But the idea is like how they used to animalize things. So this is kind of like a World War I whale about to like crush this, you know, British town. So Bullseye, what's up? Welcome. How are you? Let's go ahead and just kind of rough in a pillbox up here. Yeah. Looks like a Zeppelin, yeah. Yeah, I've done some whale Zeppelin stuff. There's a piece on my site called Max vs. the Octopus, and you can click the about, or yeah, I think now, and it'll take you right to my site. But it's a Zeppelin kind of animalize bombing an octopus, and it's I took my son playing with his bath toys and turned it into like a painting. All right, let's get some skeeters. So mosquitoes are kind of fucking ugly. All right, so we're gonna put one here. Okay, we'll put one here. So just drop in the head, and then their back kind of make mine a little fuzzy. But their back kind of arches way up. Drops down. Segmented. So, and then we'll, yeah. Just give those like droopy kind of legs. Okay. And where his head goes. We're gonna go ahead and let's get a good picture of a 30 cal machine gun. Pretty simple. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. But you know, this head will just kind of coming up like that. Yeah. I guess it could be. They got creepy fucking eye. Put his other eye around it. Maybe a little fuzz. So we'll draw through. When we detail this out, when I go in to ink it in, I'll erase these extra lines, so it'll just, you know, it'll have the Swiss cheese barrel. Put a little doohickey on there. All right. I'll kind of go in and on the proportions a little. Those segments in there. There we go. Yeah, he looks like a fun dude. Not really. Alright. Kind of shade him in. We might actually give him a brighter color doing his, actually darken in his eye. Yeah, a lot of it, you know, I'll pick out the lines as when I go into ink it fully. But I think that's pretty cool. And when I go to do his individual painting, I'll really get into the detail and whatnot. So, I should drop that down a bit, sorry. Get into the actual detail of the mosquito a little bit more. because they can obviously all have like different variations, and the German one will do a little bit different. Hey, Timbo. What's up, dude? Give him one of the spiky kind of. And when we do the detail version of him, like the full painting with the mosquito, I mean, we'll see how like he organically like gets into the like really gets into the how the mechanical meshes with the organic. So definitely make it look like there is a machine gun actually growing out of his face. Alright, so we know what this right there. Yeah, it'll be a funny one. A fun one. And yeah, maybe we do need a could get one flying next to him. Keep that kind of flapping. Just keep it real translucent for now. I'm just giving those real kind of weird ass kind of draggy legs. The ones back here. Yeah. Yeah, Tim, it's going to be the landing craft part of the World War II painting. So what I'm going to do is, just to kind of familiarize myself with all the various creatures that I'm going to be painting in the painting, the bigger painting. I'm going to do individual paintings of the creatures themselves, and that way it's it's kind of like a writer. Even if you don't hear about the entire backstory of a character, a lot of good writers will write an entire history of the character, just so they, it feels like they've known them, for all their life. But same way with this, it's, that way, like, certain little details, like if I draw this and then look at it and go, you know what, like, maybe I could accentuate a little thing, and then do it on, change it on the big painting instead of trying to figure it out while I work on the bigger piece. Thinking maybe just like one. Almost like a dorsal piece of armor. Like if you really need you to ram the shit out of something underneath. I mean, it is a whale. You could possibly do that. Smudgy. Alright. Yeah, so let's drop it down so you can get a feel for the whale being escorted in by his mosquitoes. And then, as you can see on the sketch, I don't know if I'm going to include the light, but all of this will be fishnet. Just a bunch of fish netting, and it's kind of caught on him and whatnot, so yeah. So why don't we go in and maybe do some base inks. I'm trying to think, I might want like an explosion over the hill here. Something that, yeah. Yeah, maybe that. As opposed to the other pieces that I didn't put any effort into. I'm just fucking with you. And then of course we'll get some of this, but this one you get to see a lot more of the thought process as opposed to things like the Hatter and Hunter Thompson and all that are just, not to say they're easy, just throw it together. I mean, you have to figure out compositionally, but takes time, takes effort, has subjective beauty. Oh, okay, there we go. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that, since it is a new character, I mean, Hunter Thompson and the Hatter I've drawn a million times, so I kind of knew where I was going with it. This thing I just created. These things I created about 10 minutes before I started streaming, so. You were at the forefront. Oh, the big piece, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's an insane piece. I mean, it's hopefully it'll be a masterpiece status. As far as what I've pulled off, I mean, the amount of detail on this painting is going to be just immense. And it's for a good buddy and commemorates someone who was who did some crazy shit. So let's see. I'm gonna indicate another explosion here just to see what that looks like. No, I don't like that at all. Takes away from the mosquito. Part of the balance of the painting right now is the fact that these mosquitoes kind of stick out, and then I like doing a lot of negative space behind it. So we'll just do a bunch of a lot of washes behind that. So let's jump into some ink. Of course it does. Now I have 3 more rules to break. I take all manner of suggestion. So that's the thing. I mean, you see some artists that just are so stuck in their how they do it. Sometimes you gotta step back and be like, I think I talked about on my first episode, kind of even looking at how to draw things. I mean, I did a series a couple years ago, these different pinup girls, but they were close-ups, so I actually watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to paint an eyeball correctly and lips, get the lighting on lips right. And, I'm not a portrait artist, so a lot of that just comes out of me as a stylistic element and not something that, but I wanted these to have a certain authenticity about them. You don't need them. Like I said, man, it's, you never know where the next great idea could be like, wait a minute. If I applied this rule, especially in water, I'm just kind of almost like sketching with the ink. Because a lot of this won't be buffed out, but the sketchier it is, the kind of, once I put the paint over it, more of an illusion that it's underwater. That's a muscular tail. It's been working out. Just remember, I am like the post office man. I got a cold and I'm still on here streaming. Snow, rain, I'll be there. You're not on time. I think I was on time tonight. Well, I tried. And I had to reset some shit. Alright. Well, I know last night you told me if I wasn't on earlier, your wife would yell at you, so. I don't want to be the cause of some domestic abuse. And I think I decided, well, I haven't decided yet, but I was going to make his tail blood red and kind of make it a white whale. And this will be like drab green. And then maybe patchwork a little metal on here, you know, throughout, and then just make it look, just his tail look all bloody. If I made something look this good, it would be done. You know? That's how they used to do the comic books back in the day. Some guy would just do this shit. Then you just pass it on. Huh? Up. Give it a twist. I can definitely tell I have a cold. Sugar turned the music off and it was just like pressure or depressurization. Like my ears were used to sound and then there was nothing. Yeah, I don't know too many people who do this line work anymore. I mean, I know there's a few out there, but you know, some indie comic people who still do the comic stuff for true art, you know, and not production. I just, you know, it's just cool. It's cool looking. It's got a good feel. And you can tell the difference too. I mean, you look at it, something digital versus hand art, and there's just the weight of the line, the fact that, you know, sometimes like even like drawing this circle, it's like just giving a lighter touch to the brush on the thicker side, like pushing it in a little heavier. Like you don't see that a lot in digital art unless they go in and actually, you know, thicken it. I'm sure there'll be some emulator if there isn't already one. Kind of make that a double image. That's the gear for the thing, but it also looks like that could be his eye, or maybe there's another creature kind of embedded in him. Style? I don't know. I like fine art. You gotta tell people. I mean, you know, I was influenced by super realist comics. It's kind of like saying, what kind of music is that band? They have a DJ and a ukulele and a banjo and a drum circle and swing dancers and trapeze artists and you know, I haven't come up with my Gonzo style yet, you know, or label.
like Hunter S. Thompson got labeled gonzo journalism or journalist and took off with it. I'm still waiting to come up with that, you know, oh, this is my style. I'm also not putting a lot of effort into it. A DJ in a drum circle sounds like a horrible combination. It is. It's called EDC. It's called Lightning in a Bottle. It's called Burning Man. I mean, you really have to go to the small clubs any of these days to hear the good music. Sugar Winkman and I went to this badass little club in DC while on tour, and it was awesome. Definitely got to hear some shit you normally wouldn't have. If you're just like going to one of the bigger festivals where they claim to have DJs. The Whale landing craft for the big piece. Just to recap, Sherman tank centipede. There's the bishop with his face getting blown off. He'll be at the top of the hill with the cathedral. There's the Nazi girl wrapped in the flag with the Reaper blade on top of the leopard tank. This is actually going to become its own painting as well, so you can actually, you'll see the whole leopard tank. And then the Valkyries that are coming in. So this will be, in fact, those Valkyries will be right above this whale. So this will be the storming of Normandy and the beach landing, and then it'll go into the Battle of St. Lo and the cathedral and whatnot, the centipede Shermans. So right now, I'm just doing a painting to get ready for the painting, which I have done that before. I did a piece called Sugar Cube and Tea Time Is Over. It was the first Mad Hatter piece I did with him drinking absinthe, and then I have one called Sugar Cube, which was Alice, and those were basically character studies to figure out how I wanted, the characters to look like. So, but in the name of efficiency, if I'm going to go ahead and paint the damn thing, I might as well do like a really finished painting in order to be able to put it out and sell it and show it off. And as well, like, I get to see a finished piece and kind of know what it's going to look like. Same deal with like video game design. I mean, I've done concept work, so in animation, thousands and thousands of sketches just to create this world, and then they go in for the final kill, create that movie or game. This is just on the side of the landing things. They had these little doohickeys that came out, little fins. So thought I'd actually make that part of the whale. Just indicate that that is kind of the middle part's actually sunken in a little bit. We go to shade that in, we'll accentuate that. All right. So let's get his whale teeth in. Be a combination of that, kind of that broom shit. Actual teeth. White whale, holy grail. We do have the Monty Python and the Holy Grail painting coming up too, so I have enough art to keep me busy for the next year. Actually, those have to be finished in the next month or so. There we go. And let's drop the eyeball in. And even though it is a white whale, I will go ahead and just wash over top of him the blues and teals and whatnot. That way when I start to add the white to it and blend it in, the colors will look like it's reflecting off the ocean. And maybe use a little, like an eerily translucent. Or it'll look like I painted in blue and went, oh, fuck that, I need them white. Alright. There we go, I like that. It's got a nice line to it. To Tim. Tim drinks vodka, he doesn't stream. He's a professional.
What's that?
Oh, I was talking about this guy online.
Oh.
They asked if he streamed. But he's famous for vodka. Yeah, I wanted to make him look pretty pissed, so, you know. Like, you know what? Why do I have to be here? Oh, that's right, you quit drinking. Well, how? You need to start streaming. We gotta find a use for you. This will be the plating. We'll kind of bring in these lines that almost make it look like it's warped, but growing out of them, maybe? I don't know. Let's see how that works. 30 years of practice, man. You'll have the same line work. At this point, I just find it so comforting. It's just like one of the chillest things I can do is ink. Sugar got a new sound card, so he's been playing around with his music. A happy camper. Unless he has to call tech support back.
No, I got past that hump, at least for now.
That ship has sailed. Well, and you gotta, you can learn it. Obviously, you pick stuff up a little bit quicker when you're older, and you can look online and get some tutorials. I mean, I watched very few people do this before I just struck out on my own, kind of. Because when I had my first comic book out, that's when I stopped collecting, and it was kind of in the '90s when all that Image came out, and then it was all that variant gatefold 7 different cover bullshit. They're just trying to get your money, and you're just like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be influenced by anybody. I've already like checked out, Sam Keith, the Max, and Trencher, and old anime, and I think I have my influences that I like. So I actually stopped reading comics altogether for a long time until I was comfortable in my own style and created. That way I knew like if anybody was like, obviously you're going to be able to look at any piece that I've done and probably pick out a certain artist or whatnot, but I mean, we're just at that point. But I like to know that I wasn't just like tracing shit or always referencing people. Yeah, I got rid of everything. I was like, you know what? Excuse me, I'm gonna wipe my fucking nose with my hand. Yeah, and that's when I took off and started traveling too. I moved to New Orleans and lived there for 3 years, and I knew my art was going to be more the people I meet, the situations I'm in, and then translating that into a style, if that was even possible. But that was the goal for me, was to be like, okay, how do I live an art style? And not like Andy Warhol's bullshit where he just threw parties and I'm an artist. But just knowing like each piece has a little part of what I've done, where I've been, the music I listen to, even other artists, of course, that I've interacted with, and sometimes I'll pay homage to them. Sketch that hill line in. And then, okay, let's get these mosquitoes in. Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice too when you meet people that like buy into that crap, and then you just kind of shatter their bubble by explaining to them like what a hack he was. A lot of people buy art today not because of the art, but because of like the spectacle an artist makes of himself. Like Kanye. You have people like that. And then, maybe they were putting out good art, but then once they get popular and they get popular for being an artist, they stop working, and then that's where it suffers.
Like Maynard.
Like Maynard, there you go. Good examples. And they end up making wine, but they've already made their money, so we still have to deal with them because they have annoying amounts of money to be able to still remain in the spotlight.
Yeah, how is that motherfucker still the headliner shit?
Yeah. Because old people gave up a long time ago. They're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. And they're the ones booking this show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they never got to see Tool in high school, and now they're booking the shows. That's the only reason Tool's a headliner anymore. They haven't had a new album out in it's over a decade now, I think, at least.
Oh god, it's gotta be longer than that.
Yeah. Who's Sean 2 two over there. Sugar's here. That's what I'm talking to. He's smoking weed off camera right now, so. I guess you can smoke weed on camera. I don't know. I haven't read Twitch's terms of service. I know blatant alcoholism falls under self-destructive behavior,
But smoking weed is getting.
but some of the streams that I watch, holy shit. Maybe in my younger years, but no way I can keep up with that amount of alcohol. You can smoke on cam I figured as much. I mean, it's the internet, A, it's unregulated, and B, who cares if I'm in Washington? I'm still breaking federal law or whatever, so. And C, who gives a fuck about federal law?
No one around here.
No one in this camp. Yeah. Goes by state law. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Well, I am glad I live in a legal state then.
This guy reading you the terms of service.
Yeah. Even though I don't smoke, but I'm glad Sugar can, can smoke and not get me banned from Twitch.
Well,
At least not through smoking. TwitchCon's in California, so should be able to do a little smoking there. Anybody been to that yet that's watching TwitchCon or whatever? I saw that, they gave me some email went out about like having live artists or whatever, and I thought, I'm on the road anyway at that point, maybe I'll pop in. So I put an app in for a booth. I mean, $250 for a 10x10 booth is like pennies. That's a fucking great price.
don't let them know that. They might raise the price.
Yeah, right. It's so expensive. Who can deal with this rape?
You should see the look on Sylvan's face right now.
She's all, where's my hit, motherfucker?
That's exactly what she's doing.
It is cheap. I mean, just to show up. I don't know how many people attend. I don't know much about it, but Sugar and I actually are putting together a panel, I think. They even put a call out for panels, so I was like, well, why don't we do like a art business panel there for like creative streamers on maybe integrating how to integrate Twitch, and some of the stuff that I'm doing and teaching people about touring and getting out there and all that, hoopla. I figure worst case, it just helps build the channel up, or my stream, so why not? I think it's the weekend after Aftershock.
20th?
Yeah, I think it's around there. I'll be in Sacramento, so it's, I'm in the area. Oh, for trade shows, even $1,500 is cheap. Shit. I mean, OCB rolling papers, when I go do live painting at their booth, they drop like 30 grand on a 10x20 booth, including setup and all that, but it's still about 10,000-15,000 for the booth alone. Some of them will just like hammer you on that shit. But where they really get you is like the union load-in. Like I've done some trade shows where it's like, all right, this would be acceptable if I didn't have to pay $4 grand for some guy to forklift my shit over to my booth. It takes him 5 minutes, but it's a cost of a used car. we used to cut deals with the union guys in I think the Denver convention center. There was a forklift operator, looked just like Dennis Hopper. This guy was amazing, but he would always buy artwork for his daughter and prints and whatnot. So what I'd do is I would trade him artwork if he would put the forks under the product and just lift up. And 900 pounds of art became like 50 pounds of art. Yeah, they do. They pay so much just to, and sometimes it's worth it, but if you're just starting out, it's like, fuck. And then there's companies you'll see that we did the Champs trade show. It's a big business-to-business trade show in Vegas for smoke shops. So, this was the one in January or February was the first time in Vegas where Vegas was legal. And of course, people went all out and spent there were booths. There were probably $100,000 booths there. People bringing in motor homes, like modular homes, as like an office and a display, and they spent that much loot, and I'm like, they won't be here next show. They're just like pissing money away. This machine gun is quite annoying to draw with a head coat. Yeah, that's why I like Herb Magazine. I'm like, I do all their cover art, and I'm like, stop spending so much loot on these trade shows. It's like, you're a magazine. You can direct contact the people, and if you're not getting any exposure, it's like, just buy a couple of badges, go to the show, and hit up all the people vending to get their ad business. We go out to 16,000 smoke shops every month, or quarterly now. We scaled back to quarterly, but there's just no point in being monthly. What's that? My sister did Ohio State Fair last year. Someone died on the roller coaster. The rest of the fair sucked because of it. They gave her no refund for crap fair. Oh yeah. yeah, and if anything goes wrong, like the first day of the Champ show this year, somebody they were trying to smoke in the back and ended up lighting a trash can on fire. So we were outside for 2 hours while the fire department came in and fucked around. And it's like, that cost us money. Some people are just dipshits. I know Vegas is legal, but that doesn't mean it's time to burn the convention center down because you need to smoke. Alright, get a little spill or water or whatever. Yeah, and when someone dies at your trade show, that could put a damper on things. All right. That's when you really got to raise hell. We've gotten pretty good at yelling at people to get our shit back. I'm always a fan of the old, I do this with cell phone companies all the time. If they fuck them up, I'll just call them and be like, yeah, I talked to a representative last night and they told me to call you back today during normal business hours or whatever. Said they'd fix this for me. They're going to give me this, and da-da-da. I'll wait. Go ahead and take care of that. And then just chill. ruin the walking traffic. So, oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, stuff like that is, yeah, any little thing. Well, not a little thing when someone does, but weather. Although the rock shows are pretty good. I mean, we usually don't evacuate unless there's lightning seen. Like, these people pay good money to see these shows, and they don't give a shit if it's raining.
The only place that's ever a concern is San Diego, because they're a bunch of pussies.
Like, Sugar and I used to throw events there, and it was like, if it rained, your night was fucked. Even if it rained for like 10 minutes, people would just be like, oh my god, it's raining. You expect me to walk out the door into that? It's like, yeah, motherfucker, you take 3 showers a day, you can't handle a little rain? But that's just how they are.
What gave me the idea of mosquitoes on a whale? I don't know. I like the contrast though. Very, 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 very tiny things, but obviously blown up to like ridiculous proportions to be able to escort this whale. The thought process behind it was I knew I wanted to do these characters, these machine gun mosquitoes, but I didn't think about putting it on here until I kind of looked at it and said, okay, do I really just want a whale? Like, all right, that could be cool, and I mean, it's a unique concept of, you know, the landing craft or whatnot, but I needed something to add action, and I was like, well, what if it's escorted by a couple of these mosquito things, and that's kind of where the idea came about. So a lot of times I try and look at maybe other things I'm working on, or other elements that are going to be in the painting anyways. And I'm like, you know, it's World War II, you know, all the shit's flying around, everybody's flying around everybody, so. I originally thought of maybe doing some, maybe some planes or something, but I didn't want to get too technical with this painting, and anytime you start drawing vehicles and buildings, it adds a lot of time to the painting. You know, organic stuff like this is a lot easier to accomplish in a short amount of time. I like the ballistic. It's all that smart talk, Tim.
Sounds like an album name. Yeah, I mean, I got a whole slew of characters that need to be animalized.
And I think the next series of pinup girls are actually going to be like, you know, I've got about 15 of them out that are just like girls with different vehicles, and that series did really well, but I'm almost thinking like doing some of these animalized ones and then having like, almost like these feral women that are attached to the unit. Because even though I have painted half-naked ladies riding bombs, my version of a pinup is a lot tougher. Still sexy, but tougher. There we go.
And we are literally just going to ghost this outline in, because I think I'm going to paint it in pure white. As if it was stenciled.
I think up here too we'll also, or maybe over here, we'll give it a identifying number. And I'll go through some of the old photos of some of the landing craft and see what the
what the numbers were, and I think we're gonna, there we go. There we go. That other wing was a little too thick. Almost like the different phases, like he's ready, he's angry, he's leaning forward. He's kind of like heightened senses. This guy's just chilling. He's just like, he's kind of flying in like something could happen. And I'll be ready because I have a machine gun on my nose, but if it doesn't, that's all good. Okay. I got that right. I'll have to figure out, like, I'm not going to put the bullets in on this painting, but I was thinking maybe it'd be cool if the bullets just, like, its body held the bullets. Like, maybe it's mechanical up to here, a little bit organic, but then the bullets actually come out of the side of the mosquito. They just kind of crack open and load them up again. We'll work on that for the actual mosquito painting. elegance about them. Concrete slated to protect sub-shifted to pillboxes on the coast. Oh, yeah. Hitler didn't listen to a lot of shit he should have. Like, which was good. His stubbornness definitely helped lose the war. And that's good when you're trying to win a war. Because a lot of leaders are pretty fucking arrogant. Yeah. Rommel and my last name Dietrich, Sepp Dietrich. He was the tank commander at the Ardennes Forest. He was about as prominent as Rommel, but he ran out of gasoline. Another thing you kind of need to win the war. And not attacking from all fronts at the same time. The hell you doing there, sugar?
I just crashed something.
Alright. Sugar likes putting his equipment to the test. Oh, I'm gonna spend money on you? I'm gonna crash the fuck out of you. Alright, let's get that eyeball. Am I off camera? No, I'm not. You can see it. Okay. Eyeball in. Yeah. When I first got into World War II, it was all about the tanks. They are amazing pieces of machinery. No, when I'm finished inking this, I might call it a night and get some rest. If you guys won't kill me for that. And then come back tomorrow night and start some color. I'm actually happy how much I got done tonight. Oh yeah. Yeah, isn't the Abrams like more accurate the faster it goes? I think that's its calling card. Let's put the middle ones in since this is a big smeary fucking mess. So I space these circles out right. I know that in between is where this dips. There we go. There we go. Yep. Saddam Hussein can definitely verify for us the effectiveness of the Abrams. and everything else we used. All right, let's get some of this. I'll put that explosion back in a little bit later. I want to get this erased and get the background wash in. Figure out if I want to bring it out further and have it kind of be an integral part of the behind the whale to bring it forward, or if I want to keep it kind of a little bit back there just to be indicative that the fighting is all over the place. Were you military? Were you there, man? I got a lot of friends that, and fans of the military art that I do that were part of that campaign. One of the guys that works on documenting me when I go out on tours, three tours in Iraq. Alright, so erased most of these. There we go. So now we got the outline. You can see it a lot cleaner. Almost all my family. Cool. Yeah, I got a lot of military history in my family. One of my grandfathers was in World War II at the Battle of Leyte or Leyte Bay in the Philippines, and where MacArthur retook. He was a mechanic on a destroyer, the USS Donato. My other grandfather was in the Korean War, but they stationed him in Germany and Austria, so we just found all his pictures of the eagle's nest that he took. He actually went up there and got to photograph all the Nazi high command, where they lived, Hitler's bunker. And then my great-great-grandfather and his brother fought for England in World War I, and he died. His brother lived, and then that's when my great-great-grandma came over to America. And then my great aunt Lily dated George Patton for a while, back in the 20s. So we have a diamond ring that Patton gave her. That's kind of a family heirloom, which I think is very cool. Yeah, so a lot of history. Never really got in. Didn't want to enlist myself. I just my own views on that, but I was off and running as an artist. I thought my talents would be better served doing art. But I do a lot of stuff for veteran communities and charity groups and whatnot. I haven't lately. I gotta connect with a few, but I donated art for auction and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna call it tonight. I know it's only an hour and a half. Thanks for hopping in there. Sugar's train wrecking behind me anyways. But there we go, the basis of the painting, the beginning. I'll pan up here and put it level with the camera. You got the whale, you got the skeeters, and I will be back tomorrow 9 p.m. to start painting this and drop some color in. So I'm gonna go dose heavily on medicine and sleep. So thank you guys, I really appreciate you hanging out and chatting. So I will see you tomorrow. Tim, start drinking again. You're scaring me. All right, guys. Cheers.